Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. If you've been following our program and watching it the last couple of weeks, I had Jara Burnett here from the League of Women Voters. She's the director of the League's services. And we discussed quite a bit about the history of how women got the power to vote here in this country and when. And we did talk quite a bit about the organization itself and how it's been around for many, many years. And now it's come time for it to be a little bit more prominent and impress upon the young voters their responsibility in remembering to vote and vote the right people to office, because the country is facing so many challenges and problems. The people, if they're not happy, they should really exercise their vote. And today we're going to talk about the League's past accomplishments in terms of certain lobbying areas, and also all the future programs that they have earmarked so that the citizens can have a better life here. So please join me in welcoming Jara. Jara, welcome to the
Hello,
show.
how are you? Good to be with you.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy you came to the show and discussed all such wonderful topics of women's right to vote and about your organization itself and what it's doing in the local area. And you've been very active in guiding these small units all over Connecticut.
Right, that's one of my responsibilities, to sort of help them sort out the administrative stuff and help them think of some programs. Now, when I talk about programs, it's forums or discussions or things of that nature that we do in order to shed some light on issues that maybe are very important for a community and that maybe there is a lot of disagreement about. So what we usually do is to try to organize an orderly discussion between one group and the other, so that each group has the opportunity to express their point of view, given equal opportunity to express their point of view, and so for the public to make up their mind exactly where they want to be on that issue.
So your organization helps in terms of helping the voters get information about candidates, and then you also educate them on issues.
That is correct.
Okay.
And we can do that in two different ways. If we haven't studied an issue, and there are still so many issues that we have not studied, we will organize an educational forum, panel discussion, that kind of stuff.
And where is that held?
It can be held any number of places. For years, we have had a symposium on international relations, which is a program that's open to anybody in the state of Connecticut. We usually have really excellent speakers on international kind of topics. We've done it on water, the availability of water around the globe. We have done it on greenhouse gases. We have done it on women and how they their lives in various countries and all of that, with an international bent for it. We try to invite high school students to these. It's usually held in April, so that many young people don't have much international exposure.
Are these events free to attend?
These are free. Oh, no, it costs a little bit. It costs a little bit, like maybe $15, $20.
Oh, they have
Not because we pay but we need to provide breakfast for the speakers, that kind of stuff. So it's a minimal. It's a minimal thing. On a local level, when we organize a forum, it usually is absolutely free.
Okay.
This is just that, the logistics require sometimes we have to pay for the venue and all of that. And that's why because we...
So you don't get grants or funding or anything?
We'd like to, but we haven't. No, I think for everybody, grants are sort of not so available any longer.
Or donations?
Donations, yes. We do fundraise, but it's never enough. Okay. I'm sure you know, so any not-for-profit has a problem.
Basically, this is a bipartisan kind of a group.
Exactly.
So for some people, it's not promoting any of their party things. So
therefore, we're not of interest.
They're not. Yeah,
we're not as much of interest. And what else have we done? Well, I think I mentioned to you last time that we had pushed for high school students to have to do a half semester of civics before they graduate as a requirement for graduation.
So when was that
I think that was about 10 years ago that the legislation was passed.
I thought they had completely done away with civics.
Yes, they did, and we felt that was a horrible thing.
Yes.
So we thought, we pitched it to the Department of Education, and eventually...
So there's only one semester at high school.
Half a semester.
Half a semester.
Half a semester.
For
Not
the high
enough,
school.
but
for the graduating class.
For the graduating
basically.
class,
Okay.
but at least a little bit.
Okay.
The other, we have done quite a bit of work on gun control. The League firmly believes, our members believe that there shouldn't be as many guns in this world, and we believe that there should be better control of people who have guns. So we've organized marches on to Hartford, and after Newtown, we were once again in Hartford, sort of pushing the legislature to pass some meaningful gun control legislation.
Okay.
I wish we had as much luck on the national level. We did not.
Okay. I think your chapters here in this area have a lot of work to do in that regard. Because the number of gun owners and guns in this area, in Fairfield County, I heard, is very high.
People have a lot of guns, and of course we are not saying you shouldn't have guns. You should be a responsible gun owner. Yeah. There should not be... you should have to register your gun, which doesn't seem like such a difficult thing.
No, it's not.
But there is quite a bit of pushback against registering guns and, again, storing them properly so that they are not available for an impulse kind of a crime, that kind of thing. And we would also like to have better control of the flow of guns that comes from other states into Connecticut, illegal guns. And that, we're working on it, and it hasn't, guns are a very difficult thing. I think Americans like guns.
Well, I'm not sure if they really like them. There seems to be a lot of education going into that area where people think or education and propaganda that's telling them that they should have the guns.
Right. And so what we would like to make sure that the guns that are in the hands of people are legal guns and that they have been properly registered. Again, we've had discussions on the topic where we had the NRA and gun control people discussing what can be achieved, what can be done.
Okay.
And we are also fighting any relaxation of the laws that have already been passed after Newtown, because there are periodically somebody proposes a bill in the General Assembly that would undo some
previous
of what we
legislation
already
on it.
have.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
And so we do follow this kind of legislation, and we lobby hard against it. Other programs, let's see, you asked me what other programs we have done. We've done a lot of environmental stuff. Okay. We believe that the state needs clean energy.
Okay.
We would like to see less dependence on coal in the state, which is also not a very popular point of view with some people. We would like to make sure that the air is cleaner, though of course not all of it depends on us, because a lot of, I read somewhere just recently that Fairfield County has the dirtiest air in the nation.
Why is that?
All of the generating power stations in the Midwest that haven't quite scrubbed, haven't quite converted, the prevailing winds bring it here. They blow here.
I see.
And so we supposedly have that. And of course we have a lot of car traffic, and cars are also big polluters.
Yeah.
So those are issues we have to deal with, and progress is not always very quick.
Yeah, I know that, and unfortunately what happens is some of the industries have gotten stronger and they've gotten richer, and it's easy for them to push back. And all the organizations that, and even the people that need to really address this problem and put some weight to it, they are weakened more and more. They don't have the money, they don't have the resources, and there's no...
Right. Well, when the Supreme Court decreed that corporations are people, and they
that
should
is a
have,
big blow. It should not be. You can't put a corporation in jail, can you? Or maybe we should.
No, you can't have a corporation per
then
se.
Then tie up that whole building and put the whole people in the... if they do something wrong.
It is a very interesting point of view for me to say that corporations are people, but they have been given by the Supreme Court the same right to spend unlimited amounts of money.
For elections?
For elections, yes.
And so what is the organization doing for campaign finance?
For campaign
reform?
Finance in Connecticut, campaign finance, there are certain rules that are federal rules that apply to everyone. But each state has its own rules for certainly local elections, state and local elections. So I'm trying to think, Governor Rell was still in office. So we talked, this was after we had the disaster of the impeachment of the governor. We decided that Connecticut decided it didn't want to be known as Corrupticut instead of Connecticut. So meaningful legislation was passed in order to limit the outside money coming into Connecticut. We had some very stringent laws that said you can only contribute so much money to each candidate, and we felt the league certainly was, with Common Cause and other coalition partners, we felt it was time to institute public financing of campaigns, which we did. It was passed. The amount of money that is available to each candidate for state election, this applies to governor, the under-ticket, it applies to the state legislature. That's it.
Okay.
And each...
So this doesn't apply for all the Senate elections and all? No, not the federal?
Not for federal elections.
Only for
the state election. What it does is that it obligates the candidate who wants to participate to raise a certain threshold amount of money from small contributions, and that's specified. You have to report when you are a candidate in Connecticut and you are part of this. You have to report how much money you have received and where it came from.
Report to whom? So who oversees this?
There is a special elections commission, and they do oversee that.
And Common Cause and your organization and other organizations that are
we're coalition partners on that.
So you also get to oversee that, or no?
No, we don't get to oversee that.
You just let the election commission do their job.
What happens, because all of this is, of course, a matter of public record. What each candidate gets is listed and is available on various websites. So you can see what your state House person or your state senator had received, from where, and so forth. Unfortunately, the limitations on PACs in Connecticut have been severely loosened, unfortunately. In this past election especially, very seriously weakened. And
So PACs could always be racing and doing their stuff.
yes, yes.
It's not the direct donation
Well,
into
yes,
their...
there are people give directly. People, you can give directly to a candidate, and there are limits. You can give to a PAC. You can bundle your money, which didn't used to be possible. When I mean bundle is when it comes from various PACs. You can put it together for one candidate. You can provide, you can have, there's so many things so many ways in which a candidate can raise money.
Nice.
It's really very unfortunate. So this is something where we have not done as well. We had a very good law that worked very well, but over the years it has been weakened.
Until when did it work well?
I would say that probably until 2004-05.
I see.
And since 2006.
So
And since
the last
then,
10 years it's gone.
It's getting weakened and
Okay, I see.
weakened. Yes, it's getting weakened. And from what we understand, there is not going to be a strengthening of the campaign finance law by our legislature. There just isn't interest. Now, what we should do as voters is to demand if the public at large would press their elected officials to pass a law like that, then they would be more inclined,
So
right?
how can the citizens do that? How can the voters do that?
The voters really are very lax at communicating with their elected officials.
So even if they are not happy, they're not expressing it in the right forum and the right form.
They're not expressing it at all,
I see.
unfortunately. We hear from the people in the legislature that if they get 4 or 5 communications, it can be an email or a phone call from their constituents, that's considered a huge, big thing.
I see.
So if we could,
So our viewers should be paying
yes,
attention
if
to
you
what we're
don't
talking
like
about
what
now.
you're getting,
If you don't like something,
talk to your person, or talk to your representative.
your senators,
Talk to your senator. That information is easy to come by. All of our legislature is online. The names, the districts they serve, all you need to do is to log on CGA, Connecticut General Assembly.gov.
Okay.
And on that
CGA.gov. Okay, go there.
On that website, there are any number of things, excuse me. You can follow legislation being debated. You can contact your representative.
Let
They're
them know
all
if you
listed.
don't like it,
Let
if you're
them
not
know
for it.
if you don't like it.
For example, the current toll.
Exactly.
If people don't like it, they should be. So they are saying that we're not getting any information from the people. The people are not telling us that they don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not only do a lot of people not vote, but once a certain person is in the Connecticut House, etc., they don't hear from their constituents.
I see.
And I think it is what we as the League are trying to do, but we're only 2,000 people. We're 2,000 members in Connecticut.
In
Connecticut. 2,000 in Connecticut, and we need more. We need more people to speak to their elected representatives and tell them.
And nowadays with the electronics, it shouldn't be difficult for anyone to email their representatives.
Exactly. And the website actually allows you click on the name of your representative and it opens up. You right away can send an email notice.
So what if we keep sending and they say, oh, we didn't receive anything from anybody. We didn't receive any complaints that they don't like it. So,
Well, that's right.
So how do we corroborate what we're requesting from them?
Well, I think you need to let them know what you as individual voter want.
Okay.
That's the first step.
Okay.
The second step would be to get a few people together who are like-minded. I don't know, some people in a condo unit. We don't want, whatever it is, we don't want. And let the people who represent us know that not just you, Usha, but 6 of your neighbors, 10 of your neighbors feel the same way, and they all communicate.
Okay.
That's how the grassroots should be registering their complaints or their desires. It doesn't always have to be a
so
complaint.
they don't have to go through organizations.
It's
good if they would tell the organizations also, so that you know to make that your next agenda or your program.
Exactly. There's a safety in numbers. The more people feel the same way about an issue, the more persuasive they are. Of course, what's very difficult is to get people to agree on an issue.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's, again, what we try to do is to have members of the public here be informed as much on both sides of the issue so that they can make up their mind and communicate with their elected officials.
So they should be doing that.
We should all be doing that.
And that is a person's responsibility if you live here.
Yes. I think government by the people, for the people.
And so if the people are just whining and complaining at home, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
They should communicate that.
Because that's always the excuse that you can have is, I don't know what my constituents want. Nobody tells me.
I see.
When they come and see you at election time, they tell you what they're going to do for you.
Yeah.
But I think we need to tell them what we want them to hear from us that maybe is not on this elected official's horizon.
I think that's a wonderful thought. And as much as people probably know it, but they're not used to acting on it.
I think people don't realize how powerful they are. Obviously, there has to be a certain decorum to these communications.
Yes.
If somebody writes a rant, it's not going to be very well received. But in my experience, most of the elected officials would be thrilled to hear from their constituents.
I see.
And I would really encourage everybody to do so. With electronic communications, it's not so difficult.
Yeah, I like what you said just now, that you need to tell them what you want them to do.
Yes.
You know, when they come, if they're going to be a candidate, let them listen to the people and see what they want.
Absolutely.
And then offer to do what people want.
But that also, it doesn't stop when they get elected. We have to.
Again, keep following up on.
And ideally, we'd have better candidates if candidate A has told us that he or she are going to do a certain thing. I don't know, whatever. And then they get elected and don't do it. It's up to us to keep their feet to the fire. I think we have a lot of power. We just have to use it. And it's my aim to tell as many people that they are powerful and that they should be using it.
Yeah, what I find is a lot of apathy and distrust in the process. And they say, oh, anyway, this is what they're going to be doing, you know, so what's the use of bringing it up?
And that's the biggest enemy of good government, is when people think, my vote doesn't count, I don't count. If we can, somehow we have to break through this cycle of apathy, and what you're doing here is very good.
My idea was to inform the people and also remind them of their duties, so we can have a nicer community here.
I think we're probably going to try and organize a forum on tolls come September.
Would
Pro
you keep us
and con.
informed?
Yes, we will.
Let us know
yes,
ahead
we
of
will.
time. You have
because
our
we'd
email.
like to hear from the public
Yeah.
and invite some elected officials, somebody from the Department of Transportation, and have the public a way of talking to them directly. So
Definitely, that would be wonderful. We look forward to that. I'll be happy to pass it along to our viewers.
excellent.
The moment you communicate to me, I can let them know.
Excellent. We're in the
can put
process
it up.
of just trying to organize it.
Okay.
That'll be sort of the big debut of the Danbury Resuscitated
I see.
League.
I know. I hope it's a successful group here.
I do too.
There's a lot of work.
Maybe
to be
you'll
done.
join us.
Maybe, but I try to keep,
Well, I know you have to
partisan
low
or-
profile. Well, you would be in good
Yeah.
nonpartisan thing. We need everybody because there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, I do believe that we have to keep ourselves informed and get to know the right information. A lot of people get carried away by certain rants on the radios, by certain groups. They should just go and, like you said, go follow the Senate proceedings, follow what's going on in the state and what's going on the federal level. Just go into the .gov
Exactly, because
online and see what's being discussed there.
Because it's all posted there.
Yeah, and
So-
most people don't read that.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Jara,
you so
for
much.
taking the trouble to come all the way
My
and to
pleasure.
explain everything to us.
My
This
pleasure.
is wonderful.
And if you need any information, our state office is a good clearinghouse.
Okay, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope we have time. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this show. If you have any questions, write to practicaltalktime@yahoo.com. Until next time, goodbye.